Hey everyone, it's me Isaiah from HIVstopswithme.org and happy Pride. It is June. It is the season for a reason, for new beginnings, blessings, and flotation. And honestly, the only thing I could think of when I think of Pride is love. Is love with each other, love within ourselves. You know, it was very hard for me to find my confidence, my who I am as a person, who Isaiah is. And it was because of my self doubt, of my insecurities, of my own overthinking, being undetectable. I feel like we could trust each other. We've known each other for a couple months. We family, this is a check in because let me just get down to the nitty gritty. When I think of love, when I think of self love, I think of, you know, someone who's supposed to treat you the way you're supposed to be treated. When your worth, your own value, you demanding respect from, your whoever. Those were a lot of things that I had a problem with growing up. You know, when I think of what led me to getting HIV, what led me to becoming undetectable was me trying to find who I was through men and relationships and boyfriends. I was always in a relationship. I always was the one with, the boyfriend or talking to someone or dating. And as I get older, looking back, I didn't waste a lot of time or missed opportunities. However, I realized that I did stop taking care of myself. I stopped pushing myself to do things. I started to isolate myself if I wasn't around my partner or our respected friends. So there was a point in time where I kind of lost my way and I didn't give myself the time to heal and process and work on my own, craft and skills and what I was doing at the time. I was distracted from work. I was distracted from school, and there's times where I was so well endowed, and I just really needed to feel that void. That there was times where I had a disassociation moment, and I kind of just had fun, you know, and I let loose. And each time I try to use that to, all right, maybe after this guy, I'll figure out who I am, But in all reality, in all that whole time, I needed to separate and step away and look within myself and heal in my own time and know that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be single. I don't have to be, you know, in a relationship. I don't have to seclude myself to someone else's life because I have my own. Um, it wasn't a relationship or a partner that went wrong that made me become undetectable. I kind of did it on my own. I was my own worst inner saboteur. I was my own worst enemy, my own messed up ex, and I had to apologize to myself. I had to sit down and have that conversation with myself and realize that I can't stop blaming others. And the one lesson that I've learned and I took away from growing up as a teenager, as a wild child, was to always hold myself accountable and bounce back when I need to deal with my own heartbreak and know that if I do wrong to myself and if I'm my own problem, I'm definitely going to be my own solution. Having HIV is also a blessing in disguise. It's a way to remind myself that I'm still here, that I am still breathing, that I'm able to do anything and everything that I want to do, and that I'm beautiful with a, you can't tell it's on my face. And that's one thing that I've learned is to stop being so hard on myself being undetectable in the first place. Me trying to fill that void that I could have did a long time ago in more and more healthy way. But now I know, lesson learned, and I'm still beautiful no matter what. I've learned to just grow. The more I fall, and the more I get down, the more I pick myself up and just amp it up 10 times more. Happy Pride. Happy June. Again, it's been Isaiah from HIVstopswithme.org. Remember to take your meds. You are your own CEO of your life. And I'll see you next month.